Kia ora te whānau, I'm Will.
And I'm Justin.
And today we've got a spicy shoulder flow for you. So an opportunity to build stability, strength, and explore the range of movement in our shoulders. For this practice, you will either need a block or you could use something like a book, something that's flat and roughly block sized. We'll see you on the mat. Coming into a seat at the center of your mat, and we're going to start lying down today. So find a hook lying position with soles of the feet flat on the ground, around hip width apart. Hands can rest on the ribs, and let's take a few moments to connect to our breath. Let the body get super heavy, surrendering your weight into the floor. Few breaths here. Let's breathe in through the nose and a gentle sigh out through the mouth. 2 more rounds. Inhale. Nice slow sigh. 1 more. Let's make this the biggest one yet. Breathing in. Sighing it out. So before we move into all these amazing movements for our shoulders, we're going to use our breath to create a little expansion through the rib cage, as the ability for the ribs to move, expand, and contract play a big role in our shoulder mobility. So you may like to take one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest, just to give you a little tactile sensation to connect to your breath. We're going to be exploring a version of our Dirga Pranayama, and we're going to build up our 3 parts. So maybe you soften the gaze or close the eyes if you haven't already. And for the next few rounds of breath, you're going to be breathing at your own rhythm, your own pace. Breathing in and out through the nose. Can you send your breath down towards your belly and your lower back, feeling expansion? And then exhale, letting it soften here. A few rounds, breathing in, relaxing those abdominals. Think belly, lower back. Exhale, your breath, your own pace here. And now I know we're not actually breathing into our belly. Our lungs don't go down this far. But it can be a nice image to help bring that sense of relaxation into those abdominals. Let's bring in part 2. So we're going to breathe into the belly and the lower back, and then let the breath expand into the side ribs. And then as you breathe out, allow those side ribs to soften and the belly, lower back. Breathing in, belly, lower back. Breathe into the side of your ribs, letting them expand to the sides of your room. Exhale, ribs, belly. Few rounds here, introducing the second part. Expanding, opening, grounding, and relaxing. Now, if this idea of breathing into the side ribs is new to you, maybe you take the hands to the side of the ribs and imagine you're actually breathing into your hands to connect to that expansion. And you could stay here, just breathing into that first and second part. Or maybe we add part 3, breathing into the belly and lower back, side ribs, and then all the way into the collarbones. Breathing out collarbones, side ribs, belly and lower back. Breathing in, belly and back, side ribs, upper chest and collarbones. Breathing out, collarbones, side ribs, belly and back. So a few rounds here. Have a little play. Let's get curious with the sensations. And as you explore these 3 parts, maybe noticing that that rib cage expands 360 degrees with the breath. Last round of your 3-part breath. And then allow the breath to find its own rhythm once again. If your eyes are closed, you can flutter them open whenever you're ready. And we're just going to hug the knees into the chest. Maybe knees are together, or you could cross the ankles, Supta Sukhasana. This option I prefer. It allows me to find a little more ease in the hips. And then maybe you rock side to side, bringing some gentle movement into the lower back. Grabbing the backs of the legs, we're going to take a little rock and roll up and down our mat. It's always one of my go-tos at the beginning of a practice. Nice to feel a little playful, some of these things that we did when we were kids. So option is to hold the backs of the legs for support. Maybe you start to float the hands to engage with the core. You going for a float, Justin? Or
No, I'm just going to hold on to my thighs.
You're going for support today, great. And then maybe you find a little moment to balance on your sit bones. Maybe toes tap down or toes stay lifted. Last rock and roll. We're going to rock all the way up, either fold over the legs, take them to the side to find our tabletop. Let's stack knees below hips, hands below shoulders. Before we jump into our cat-cows, we're going to connect to our shoulder blades, our scapula. So, spread the fingers wide, find a nice long spine here. Can you think about those shoulder blades squeezing together behind your back and then press into the floor to allow them to separate? It's a small movement, smaller than cat-cow. So have a play moving back and forward. We call this retraction when we squeeze the shoulder blades together, and protraction when we separate them. So here, just a small movement to explore some shoulder mobility. One more time. Coming back to that neutral position, we're now going to elevate the shoulder blades. So draw the shoulders towards the ears, and then press them away towards the hips. Few rounds here, maybe syncing movement to breath, elevating and depressing those shoulder blades. Nice to isolate this movement before we put it all together. Come back to your neutral spine, shoulders relaxed. Let's find our cat-cow. Inhale here. Exhale, cat pose. Press the ground away, shoulder blades separate. Finding cow, inhale, arch the back, look forward. Shoulder blades retract and squeeze. Exhale, back to cat pose, moving between your Majadhyasana and your Betalasana at your own pace. Few more rounds. Maybe getting curious about the sensations of the shoulders in what can be a familiar shape or familiar shapes for many of us. Coming back to a neutral spine, we're just going to come off the wrists. You can sit on the heels or come up to the knees with Justin. And we're just going to roll the wrists one way. Bring a bit of movement in. We'll roll them the other way. Give them a shake. Let's find our first downward facing dog for the practice. So, from my tabletop, I like to step my hands one handprint in front, tuck the toes, and then hips go high, finding your downward facing dog for the day. You can pedal out the feet, bring some movement in. Whatever feels good for your down dog here. You may like to do a little alignment check, hands shoulder width or a little wider. Wide is a great option if the shoulders feel tight. Feet are around hip width apart, and you can bend the knees generously here, maybe connecting those lower abdominals to the thighs and then sending the sit bone high. Heels don't have to touch down. One more inhale here. Stay for the exhale. Let's find our first vinyasa. We're going to roll into a plank. Options drop the knees. Maybe we both drop the knees for this first one. Turn the elbow creases to face the front and then lower all the way down onto the belly. Untuck the toes, squeeze the glutes. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push back up to downward facing dog. So remember those shoulder blade movements? We're going to explore them in our downward facing dog. So remember retraction where the shoulder blades squeeze. Give that a go, squeezing the shoulders together, the shoulder blades. And then protract, separate the shoulder blades. So you may feel that upper arm rotating as you move back and forth between these two positions. And you can ask yourself, where feels strong for you in your down dog today? Where feels open? Where feels spacious? Once you've found that position, we'll explore that elevation, drawing the shoulder blades up towards the ears, push the ground away, and then draw shoulder blades away from the ears. Again, move back and forth between these two positions, noticing where feels just right for you today. We've got different shaped shoulder joints, so your own unique anatomy may dictate what feels good for you, what feels supported for you in your shapes. Let's take another vinyasa. You can stay on your knees with Justin, or inhale to high plank with me. Exhale, lower all the way or halfway down. Baby cobra with Justin or up dog with me. Inhale, lift the heart, squeeze the glutes, big squeeze of shoulder blades. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Tippy toe to the front of your mat. Let's find a nice forward fold, releasing the head, crown towards the floor. Feet could be together or hip width apart. Maybe you're taking a ragdoll with Justin by grabbing opposite elbows and swaying. No right or wrong, what feels good for you here? If you want to give the shoulders a little bit of love, you can interlace the fingers behind the back, reach the knuckles up and away. And here we're trying to depress those shoulder blades or reach the shoulders away from the ears. If you're binding, release the hands, slide them up to the shins. Next inhale, find your flat back. Shoulders draw away from ears. Exhale, release and fold. Come all the way up, brace the belly. Inhale, sweep the hands to the sky. And then exhale, float the hands down to the sides. Now you can grab your block or whatever prop you've decided to help you with today. Take it to the right hand. We're going to use it to explore some shoulder mobility. So let's take the feet hip width apart or a little wider. Bend the knees so we feel nice and grounded. We're going to take the block on the palm. Now the trick here is we don't want to grip the block. We want to hold it softly. And this might mean the block falls out of our hand. So might happen to us, might happen to you. That's all part of the practice. So with a nice open palm that's not gripping, we're going to take our block, take it out to the right side, reach behind the head, turning the palm up to the sky. Your whole body may need to move here. Palm opens to the sky, reach across, draw it to the right side, take it close to the body, under the armpit, and then serve it up like a dinner plate. That's our motion. Let's go again. Behind the head, palm to sky, reach it across to the right, under the armpit, and serve it up. So just have a little play here. And I really like to integrate the full body into this, using that natural body intelligence. Sometimes we get super strict, but our shoulder mobility, as I mentioned, is interconnected to our rib cage, also even what's happening with our hips. So let this take over the whole body if you want. So far, so good. We're going to reverse. So next time the block comes to the right, we're going to take it across to the left, under the armpit, palm to sky, reach to the left, behind the head, and serving it around. Give it a go, having a little play. Now, if I teach a class and I do this, and no one drops the block, I'm always very suspicious. So it's okay if it drops. One more revolution. Then what I'm going to get you to do is pop the block down, come into your mountain pose. Maybe you soften the gaze or close the eyes, and just notice, do you feel any difference between the two shoulders? There's no right answer. We're just bringing a little awareness in. I'm going to put Justin on the spot here. Do you feel any difference?
Definitely feel looser on this side.
A little looser?
A little bit.
Nice.
A little bit of burning.
A little bit of burning too. If the eyes are closed, flutter them open. We're going to take the block to the opposite hand, the left hand, and do it all again on this side. So start with it to the left. We're going to go behind the head, palm to the sky. Reach it across to the left, under the armpit, and serve it up. You know where you're going. These cork blocks definitely create a little more strength as well as mobility here. So if you've got a book, I'm hoping it's not something that's too heavy, not a big old dictionary. Now, as you become more familiar with the movement, can you notice if you're holding your breath? Often we hold our breath when something is challenging. So can you find your steady breath here? Next time you've completed a revolution, we're going to reverse. So take it across to the right, under the armpits, palm to sky, around the head. Oh, I just noticed I was definitely cheating then. I thought I was doing really good, but I am gripping the block.
Thought you were gripping.
I'm going to just calling me out. I'm going to try and relax my palm, and maybe it falls. Last couple of rounds, you may even close your eyes and see what happens. When you finish this next round, you can pop your block down, come to the front of your mat, give the shoulders a little shake, a little roll. Hopefully they feel a bit more spacious after that. We're going to bring some heat into the body with a few rounds of sun salutations and then jump into our flow, exploring a variety of shoulder positions. So let's find our mountain pose. Palms open to the front, shoulder blades draw down, tucking into your back pockets. Let's flow. Inhale, hands sweep to sky, palms face. Exhale, swan dive forward, releasing the crown. Inhale to your flat back, maybe hands to shins. Exhale, fold, hands to earth. Step back to your plank. Option stay low with Justin or join me. I'm going to rock the shoulders forward. Lower chaturanga halfway, 90 degrees with the elbows. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. One breath, inhale, lift through the hips. Exhale, soften the heels. Keep breathing, look between the hands, step, jump or float to the front of your mat. Find your forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, come all the way up, hands to sky. Exhale, float the hands down to the side. Hands come to heart center, a moment of balance. Right knee lifts towards the chest for our stalk pose. We're lifting tall through the crown. Shoulders relax. Active left foot presses into the earth. Inhale here. And then exhale, land the foot down. Let's go on the other side. Inhale, sweep hands to sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. Exhale, fold, hands to earth. Step or jump back to your Chaturanga Dandasana. Take your flow. Inhale, big stretch through the front body. Exhale, we meet in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Active shoulders here. Press the hands into the floor. Inhale. Stay for the exhale. Look between the hands. Step, jump or float to the front of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, release and fold. Let's come all the way up. Inhale, hands to sky. Exhale, floating the hands down to the side. Stalk pose on the other side. Left knee lifts. Hands can come to hips, heart. Find a little balance, a little ease. One more inhale. Exhale, plant the foot down, give it a little shake. All right. We're going to start bringing in a little bit more heat to both the lower body and the upper body, finding our mountain. Now you can play with that stalk pose or join us for Garudasana, eagle pose. Inhale, lift the right knee. Exhale, cross it across the left knee. Get heavy and sink into the left knee. If you'd like to join for eagle arms, oh, that's my balance. You can take the left hand underneath the right for a bind, or stay with Justin with fingertips to shoulders. For those with the bind, really press the elbows away, protracting those shoulder blades. Stalk pose. Inhale, right knee to chest. Exhale, step the leg along behind, high lunge. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, arrowhead, sweep the hands behind, long beside the body. Inhale, hands come tall. Exhale, reverse prayer, so hands can come behind us. Either grab opposite forearms with Justin. You could bring the knuckles together or taking the palms together behind you. Whichever option you're in, can you squeeze the shoulder blades without excessively arching through the back? One more inhale. Exhale, reach the hands long, arrowhead pose. Balance on that left foot. Inhale, kick the right leg up a moment, and then exhale, step it down, warrior two. Feet on the 90 degrees. Sink into your warrior two. Find your big reach through the arms. We're looking for left knee over ankle. Opposite leg is straight and strong. Flip the palm, reverse your warrior. Stay with Justin for support or a big wide V with me. Inhale here. Exhale, triangle pose. Lengthen the left leg, reach, and come on down, stacking the shoulders. Inhale here. Hold for the exhale. Straighten the knee. Inhale, come on up. Reverse your triangle. And then exhale, extended side angle, generous bend of the knee. So maybe forearm to thigh with Justin, or again, float the hands in that big, wide V, spiraling the heart to the front. Goddess pose. Inhale, reach the hands tall, take the heels in. Exhale, find your big, wide squat here. So we can cactus the arms, squeezing the shoulder blades, or stay with hands on hips with Justin. Breathing in, exhale, maybe sink a little lower. Ukkata Konasana, fierce angle. So we're wanting to bring the heat into the lower body. Wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, straighten the leg, take the heels out. Exhale, start to hinge and fold. So maybe some of us, fingertips to the floor, you could use a block. Maybe hands are coming in line with the feet. Breathing in, lengthen to the spine. Exhale, release through the crowd. Bend into your left knee, pivot all toes to face the front, find your runner's lunge. Side plank to the left. Inhale, left hand reaches to the sky, hold for the exhale. Now you can drop the right knee with Justin, or maybe step the left foot back to stagger, or stack the feet in your side plank. Beautiful strengthening for our shoulders here. Can you spread the fingers of the right hand, claw into the mat, and align shoulder over the wrist so we're strong. Big press. Inhale, hold for the exhale. As you inhale, draw the left knee in towards the front of your mat. Exhale, plant the hand down. Step back to downward facing dog. We're going to lower the knees to the floor, child's pose, and find a striking cobra. So hips go back to heels, thinking child's pose, and then skim the chest, either baby cobra with Justin or pulling all the way up to up dog with me. Inhale here. Exhale, knees come down, hips go back. Let's have a play with our dolphin pose. So align your shoulders over your elbows. We're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips, and start walking them towards the elbows here. Just like our down dog, we can bend the knees as generously as we need here. Really beautiful pose for bringing strength and mobility into the shoulders. So can you actively press hands and elbows into the floor, feeling that strength, that heat in the shoulders? One more inhale. As you exhale, walk the feet back. Drop the knees, downward facing dog. You may need to readjust your hands, tuck the toes, send the hips high. Left knee lifts. Inhale, three-legged dog, reach back. Exhale, think knee to nose, step the foot forward. Hop the right foot in to meet the front. Uttanasana, forward fold. Flat back. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, hands to sky. Exhale, float the hands to the side. Let's find our eagle pose on the other side. Let's start with stalk. Inhale, left knee lifts, and then if you want, exhale, draw the knee across the midline, maybe binding the foot by the calf. Squeezing the legs in, sink low into those hips, chest stay tall. If you want those eagle arms, right arm comes underneath before we bind, backs of hands, or maybe fingers to palms. Again, option with Justin here. Let's inhale. Exhale, sink a little lower. Back to stalk pose. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, kick the leg long behind you. Keep the bind, high lunge. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, arrowhead hinge, leaning on the 45. Inhale, hands to sky. Stay low in your back knee. Exhale, reverse prayer. Hands come behind. Choose your adventure. Inhale, big squeeze of the shoulder blades. Stay for the exhale. Reach the hands along. Inhale, arrowhead, lift the back foot. And then exhale, touch it down 90 degrees. Cartwheel open to your warrior two. Bend low into the hips. Support with Justin, a little more fire with me. Flip the palm, reverse your warrior. Inhale, C-shape the spine. Exhale, triangle pose. Lengthen right leg, reach, and come on down. Breathe in, keep the legs straight, reverse your triangle, maybe big wide V once again. Exhale, extended side angle, generous bend of that front leg. Again, support or fire, what do you need here? Inhale, hands to sky, straighten the right leg, heels come in. Exhale, goddess pose, sink into your beautiful wide squat, maybe coming into your cactus arms. Steady breath. Next, inhale, straighten the legs, heels go out. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Having a play with whatever option feels good for you here. Maybe you find a bind, interlacing the fingers behind you, reaching the knuckles away, as we had as an option earlier in our practice. Hips go high, press feet into the floor. For those with a bind, release. Runner's lunge to the front of our mat. You can walk the hands, turn all the toes to face the front. Inhale, right hand to sky. Exhale, Vashisthasana, side plank. So, options, so many options. Knee down with Justin. Maybe your foot's only stepping halfway today. Or maybe you want to try stacking the feet here. Wherever you are, we just want to play today. Invite a sense of play to our shoulder strength, our shoulder mobility. Inhale, hips lift tall, hand reaches tall. Exhale, right knee bends, steps to the front of your mats. Keep breathing, hand comes down. Step back to downward facing dog. And then lower the knees to the floor. Striking cobra, hips go back to heels. Next, inhale, skim the chest. Almost like you're in a music video. Come on up, baby back bends, or up dog. Exhale, hips go back to child's pose. Again, we're going to play with our dolphin pose. Now, you can go straight there with Justin. If the shoulders feel quite tight in this pose, you can always find a triangle by aligning your fingertips to your elbows. Find that triangle, dig the pinkies in, and then come on up. This may feel a little more spacious for some people. As I mentioned, we're all different. So finding what works for you versus just finding one shape. Now you can play here. Maybe you're exploring lifting one leg, finding a three-legged dolphin. I know dolphins don't have legs, but for our purposes today, they do. Maybe you have a play with the other one. Eventually, we're going to find downward facing dog. Now, if the forearms are parallel, you can try pressing into the hands, coming on up. Otherwise, with Justin, drop the knees, reset into your downward facing dog. Three-legged dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Reach long. Exhale, knee to nose. Step the foot between the hands. Hop the back foot to meet the front. Find your forward fold. Inhale to your flat back. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, come all the way up, hands to sky. Exhale, floating the hands down. Feel free to give it a little bit of a shake. You're going to go through a second round.
Sounds good.
Sounds good? You ready to roll?
I am.
All right, just me who maybe needs a break. That's fine. That's fine.
I've got all the modifications. Easy flow for me.
Easier for you. It can be challenging, the modifications too. All right, let's find our mountain pose. I'm going to add a couple of options in there, a few extra options for those who are feeling a little frisky, a little cheeky. Let's find that mountain pose. Stork pose, right knee lifts. Inhale. On the exhale, extend the leg long. Utthita Padangusthasana. Maybe the hands reach, so fingertips and foot reaching. Inhale here. Exhale, either bend the knee for stork or cross it over to find your eagle. Left arm can come underneath for the bind. Maybe you sink a little lower. Stork, inhale, right knee to chest. Exhale, shoot the leg along behind you. High lunge, inhale, back bend. Exhale, arrowhead, big brace of the belly as you lean and reach. Inhale, hands to sky, high lunge. Sink low in the knee. Exhale, find your reverse prayer. Inhale, squeeze those elbows behind. Exhale, arrowhead, reaching long. Warrior three, press into the left foot. Kick the right leg strong behind you. Maybe you've got the block with Justin supporting you. Maybe you're finding a little more fire by softening that knee. No right or wrong. One more inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Step the foot back and sink into your hips. Now you can stay with Justin or find what we sometimes call mermaid arms. So here I'm going to reach tall, turn my palms to the side of the room, and then finding a bind here. Want to stay nice and spacious through the shoulders. Stay low in that knee. Reverse your warrior two, arm variation of your choice. Inhale. Exhale to triangle. Again, maybe you hold your mermaid arms, spiraling the chest to the front. Reverse your triangle. Inhale, come up and back. Exhale, extended side angle. Release the bind, maybe forearm to thigh. Hand could come down to the floor. If a bind is part of your practice, drop that left shoulder beside the knee, and we're going to bind the hands behind the leg. You can also use a strap, a belt, a bathrobe, whatever you need to find the shape. Not a bathrobe, what do you call it? The bathrobe tie. You know what I mean.
The belt.
The belt.
Bathrobe.
Does a bathrobe have a belt? All right, hopefully I'm distracting you.
Dressing gown.
Dressing gown. We call it dressing gown in New Zealand. So squeeze the glutes, open the hips here. Nice work. Inhale, reach tall, goddess pose. Heels come in. Exhale, sink low. We're just here for one breath. Inhale. Maybe sink the lowest you've been all day. Exhale. Wide leg forward fold. Inhale, straighten the leg. Heels go out. Exhale, find your shape here. Reaching the crown to the floor. One more breath. Stay for the exhale. Find your runner's lunge at the front of your mat. Inhale, left hand to sky, twist. On the exhale, find your side plank or stay where you are. I'm going to float my top leg. So you can do this in your plank or even in your gate pose. You may want to float the leg, feeling the outer hip doing some work. We're focusing on shoulders, but the whole body's getting some love today. One more inhale. Exhale, step the foot to the front of your mat. Hand to the floor, step back to downward facing dog. Lower the knees, hips to heels, striking cobra. Let's find your Beyonce moment. Keep the hips high, mobility through the spine, chest skims like a stone, pull on up. And then exhale, hips go back. Now, if you need a little reprieve, child's pose is always here for a few rounds of breath. Otherwise, come back to your dolphin pose, triangle, or forearms parallel. Tuck the toes, send the hips high. Again, you can play with that single leg option by reaching 1 foot long. Maybe you even find a little hop, finding a little lightness, pressing through the hands and the elbows. You can extend the other leg if you haven't already. Again, maybe you find hops. Maybe you even hop between 1 foot and the other. Downward facing dog. Option to drop the knees or strong press through the hands. Come on up. Chest to thighs. Look between the hands. Inhale, step, jump or float to the front of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, hands to sky. Exhale, mountain pose, straight into the other side. Left knee lifts, stalk pose. Inhale, wherever the hands want to go. Hold for the exhale. Breathing in. Maybe you extend the leg. You extending the leg, Justin?
I'm keeping the
You're giving me all the hard options. Okay. Inhale here, and then exhale, bend the knee. Find your eagle. Cross the legs. Maybe you bind. Right arm under the left. Shoulders soft. Nice, strong spine. Inhale, left knee to chest stalk pose. Exhale, kick it long behind you. Inhale, lifting the heart, elbows squeeze, challenging my balance. Exhale, arrowhead, reach through the crown, fingertips back. Inhale, hands to sky, lunge. Exhale, sink low as the hands come behind, reverse prayer. Inhale, front body opens. Exhale, arrowhead, big, long reach. Now here we go. You can stay or start to float the back foot coming into Virabhadrasana 3, a balancing warrior pose. The torso doesn't have to come parallel to the ground. Maybe you're taking your warrior a little taller today, working with your hamstrings, your legs, whatever you need here. One more inhale. Exhale, kick the left leg long, drop the heel, find your warrior 2 facing the back. Remember, options. Traditional arms with Justin or mermaid arms with me. Find your wide V. Palms face out. And then interlink the fingers, maybe finding the opposite bind. Stay low in the hips, reverse your warrior. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, triangle pose with or without your mermaid arms. Inhale, reverse your triangle. Exhale, extended side angle. Bend into that left leg. So you can take the option with a block, with Justin, forearm to thigh. If you want to find the bind, we need to drop this shoulder in line with the knee. I like to take my knuckles towards the back of my thigh to find the bind. Now, often what we see is people's hips will come off to the side of the room, of the mat, and they'll lose that alignment. So think of pulling those hips underneath you, spiraling the chest open. I think that's enough time here. Release the bind if you're taking it. Inhale, straighten the legs. Big reach with the arms. Exhale, goddess pose. Stay for one breath. Exhale. Wide-legged forward fold. Lengthen the legs. Heels go out and then fold forward. We're looking for either feet parallel or slightly pigeon-toed here, just creating more space through backs of the legs. One more inhale. Soften on the exhale. Walk to the front of your mat, pivot all the toes, runner's lunge. Inhale, right hand to sky. Hold for the exhale, or drop the heel, find your version of side plank on the side, or gate pose with the knee down. Again, top leg could float. Spread the fingers, claw into the mat. One more inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, step right foot to the front of the mat, hands come down. Step back to downward facing dog. Last striking cobra, land the knees down, hips to heels. Pull through to your heart opener of your choice. Exhale, back to child's pose. One more round of our dolphin pose, or stay here in child's pose. Triangle or forearms parallel. Tuck the toes, send the hips high. You can again play with those single leg options. You can play with your hops, or if you're working on your forearm stand, maybe now's the time you feel warm, open to have a little play. Hopping up, bracing the belly, finding your balance, bringing the legs together. Squeezing the glutes, active press through the arms, into the floor. Shoulders, stable. If you're taking it up, eventually come on down. We'll return to that child's pose. Now, after all of that shoulder work, that what we call shoulder flexion and external rotation, let's reach the hands behind us, take the knuckles down to the ground, and allow the shoulders to roll inwards. Forehead can rest on the ground. Maybe you take a block and rest the forehead on a block or a pillow, cushion. That feels a little more spacious for you. We're going to start to slow down so you can return to your breath. Coming up when you're ready. We're going to make our way onto our belly. Just find a few stretches for in and around the shoulder here. So we're going to take our left arm, reaching it in line with shoulder, palm down. Right hand comes beside the ribs. Bend your right knee and then reach the toes up and over, inviting a twist into the spine. Now that left arm may need to adjust to bring more sensation through chest, through the pec, or through the shoulder. You can even explore cactusing that arm. And then the right foot, wherever feels comfortable. Some people, maybe the sole of the foot will touch down. Others, you can just rest the side of the foot, or maybe you're even actively reaching. I like to allow my head to rest on the ground, focusing on that sensation through the shoulders. Few more steady breaths. And let's find the shape on the other side. Right arm reaches, left hand beside the ribs, bend the left knee, start to reach it up and over, and find your expression of the shape. Again, take little adjustments. You can get so concerned with the yoga rule book, feeling like we need to do everything perfectly. But our body is going to let us know what it needs. Don't get me wrong, alignment is important. It's great to understand the intention of a pose. But we also want to use our sensations as part of that feedback, exploring alignment that feels right for us. Coming back through center when you're ready. I'm going to give you two options here. Option one is we find a Sphinx pose. So taking the elbows below the shoulders, scissor the legs, squeeze the glutes, and start lifting the chest through the shoulders. So imagine you've got a little laser pointer, and you're going to try and shine it. Laser pointer in the center of your chest, and you're going to try and shine it to the wall. You're welcome to stay here, focusing on that shoulder blade retraction, squeezing the shoulder blades and depressing, drawing the shoulder blades down to press away from the floor. Other option is to find our Anahatasana, melting heart pose. We bring the knees below the hips, hands reach wide, and start melting the chest towards the floor. Maybe more intense sensation here. It's not that one is better or one is easier, just different. So you could explore one of these shapes, or maybe you explore both of these shapes. And if you're exploring your melting heart pose, a great option is to bring the block to the top of the chest if you would like a little bit more support, or to bring the ground up to you. Steady breath. In and out through the nose. Whichever shape you're in, you can slowly come on up, easing out of the shape, maybe returning to a tabletop. We're going to bring the knees below the hips, hands below the shoulders, and let's just play with those shoulder blade movements one final time. Drawing the shoulder blades together, separating them, and notice, has anything shifted across your practice? Explore elevating the shoulder blades, drawing shoulders to ears, and then depressing the shoulder blades, reaching the shoulders towards hips, back and forward. And then, in your own time, you can find a seat, roll down onto your back, soles of the feet to the sky, hug the knees in, we'll find a happy baby. Some days I prefer taking the hands and just keeping them onto the backs of the legs. You can also join Justin. He might explore ankles or feet. Wherever we are, can you allow the shoulders and head to rest heavy on the ground as well as the tailbone? Slow the breath, maybe some gentle rocks. And eventually feet touch down. Now if you would like to take some time in Shavasana, please feel free to pause the video here for as long as you need. Otherwise, we'll just take a couple of breaths mindfully, heavy into the floor. Let's grab the backs of the legs, find a little rock and roll up and down our mat. And then eventually find a seat of your choice to close our practice. We'll take 3 shared breaths all together to close. Exhaling all the air out. Inhale through the nose, side out through the mouth. Breathing in, let it go. Hands reach to sky, inhale. Sighing, hands down the midline, resting at heart center. You could press the thumbs to the chest, tuck the chin, and take a moment to thank yourself for carving out this time in your day to practice, to breathe, to move, and to be still. The eyes are closed, gently flutter them open whenever you're ready. Thanks for practicing with us. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Mate wa whānau.